like how important these certifications are for somebody to apply at AWS.
Yeah. I think, so before we go to apply to the AWS part, like how important are certifications, right? Certifications are an accreditation of your skill, right? So if you have the experience that you say you have and the knowledge that you say you have, the certification attests to that, right? So you put your knowledge and your experience to test and you got the certificate, right? So that's the way to look at it, right? So first thing you need to have is the knowledge and the certificate and the experience, and then comes the certification, right? So that's very important, right? Just what I've seen in some cases is that people just focus so much on the certification that even if they don't have a lot of real world experience, they just go, and it's not impossible, right? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough without real world experience to pass. And these tests are incredibly tough, and they get tougher. And this is my personal opinion. They get tougher year by year, right? Because I recertify myself, and I find that it's just because of a pace of innovation, right? I mean, AWS is, innovating at an alarming pace, and that's good for the industry. That's good for for our customers. Just last year we launched more than 3,300 new capabilities just in 1 year, right? Just last year. So obviously the knowledge, that the kind of the pace of innovation is really at that leading edge. And obviously the certifications also get updated, so there's new things to learn about, right? As our technology advances. So the certifications also kind of progress. So my biggest advice for people is that don't just focus on the certification. That is not the destination, right? Build the knowledge, build the real world expertise, and then use the certification to prove that you actually know what you know, right? So that's the way to look at it. That's the first thing. Now, to answer the question that you had, right? How important is this for jobs? I think I'll go back to the same answer, right? It is actually an attestation that you know what you know, right? So that's one thing. And obviously, at AWS, when I interview candidates or people in my management team, when they interview candidates or even, solution architects, we have a very elaborate hiring process. We insist on very high standards when we hire people. We do look at certifications. Yes, it's an important element, but we don't automatically disqualify people just because they don't have the certification. Right? And also if they have a certification, that doesn't mean we automatically assume that they we have our processes, and I'm sure a lot of companies do the same thing, right? It's certifications, right? So it's good to have that on a CV. It shows the accreditation that you know what you know, and then obviously when you come to the interviews, some of that knowledge will be tested, right? So and that's how that's part of the evaluation of candidates as well, and that's part of the hiring process too, right? So you get questions on the technology and on the technical discussion.
Fair enough. Now, you made a good point that you do not disqualify somebody who's not having certification if they have industry experience and what they write in the resume, and if they are able to speak to it, if they're able to deliver those, that's the big one. And of course, certification would help eventually. It's an attestation
Yeah.
process.
I mean, I don't want to downplay that, right? Certifications are important because as a hiring manager, when you receive a CV and there's an AWS certification already there, you're like, okay, this person has worked in AWS for like 10. Let's see
Right.
how much they know. That's a different story. But it gets you in, right? It actually has that, that's a badge that comes into your, in your CV. So as a hiring manager, when I look at it, I see person certified. Obviously, that places some importance for that candidate, right? You need to talk to this candidate, right? So it helps you get a foot in the door. It's important. And obviously, if you know what you know, then that's a very good, it's a very good, nice to have on in your CV, and it also helps you, throughout the process because you're already certified. Right? Every solution architect at AWS who is employed at AWS is required to certify and recertify when it expires, right? So every solution architect as part of the KPIs to be certified, right? So yeah, so certification is very important for us. But again, do we not talk to somebody just because they don't have a certification? No, that's not true either. But it's a very important, nice to have, or almost a must have kind of a thing. When we look at candidates.